Have you ever wondered why some days your body feels strong and focused, and other days it feels like your energy just isn't there? Maybe you've noticed it in small ways. Climbing stairs feels a little harder than it used to. Your muscles take longer to recover, or your mind feels a bit foggy by the end of the day. For a long time, people assumed these changes were simply a normal part of getting older. But recently, scientists have been paying closer attention to something happening deep inside our bodies, the way our cells produce and use energy. Every movement you make, every heartbeat, even every thought you have requires energy at the cellular level. And researchers are now exploring how this hidden system may influence things like muscle strength, heart function, metabolism, bone health, and even how clearly we think. What's fascinating is that many of these discoveries aren't just about athletes or fitness enthusiasts. They're about everyday health, the kinds of changes people begin noticing in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. In fact, some researchers now believe that the way our bodies manage energy could be one of the key factors behind how we age, how we move, and how we maintain our mental sharpness over time. If you've ever felt curious about why energy levels change, why muscles weaken, or why the brain sometimes feels less focused than it once did, you're definitely not alone. I'd love to hear from you. Have you noticed changes in your energy, strength, or focus as the years go by? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else realize they're not alone, because once you understand what's happening inside the body, many of these changes start to make a lot more sense. And what researchers are now discovering about the body's energy system might completely change how you think about everyday health. Have you ever noticed how your body sometimes feels completely different than it did just a few years ago? Maybe your energy fades faster during the day, your muscles feel weaker than they once did, or your mind doesn't feel quite as sharp when you're trying to focus. For many people, these changes appear gradually. They're subtle at first, easy to dismiss as stress, a busy schedule, or simply a normal part of getting older. But recently, researchers have started paying closer attention to something happening deep inside the body that may connect many of these experiences, the way our cells create and use energy. Every single moment of your life depends on energy produced at the cellular level. Your muscles rely on it to move. Your heart relies on it to beat. Your brain relies on it to think, remember, and concentrate. Even the smallest processes inside your body require energy to function properly. In the world of health research, this idea has become a growing topic of interest. Scientists are exploring how the body's ability to produce energy inside its cells might influence everything from strength and mobility to metabolism and mental clarity over time. It's a fascinating shift in how researchers think about everyday health. Instead of focusing only on individual organs, many experts are looking at the body more like an interconnected system, where energy flowing through the cells helps support how everything works together. And for people who have started noticing changes in stamina or focus as the years pass, these discoveries are raising important questions. One area where this conversation is especially active involves muscle health. Muscles are often associated with athletes or gym routines, but in reality, they play a much larger role in daily life than many people realize. Muscles support balance, help protect joints, and allow us to perform everyday tasks like climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or simply getting up from a chair. Over time, researchers have observed that muscle mass tends to decline gradually with age, a natural process sometimes discussed in aging research. What makes this especially important is that muscle strength is closely connected to mobility and independence later in life. When muscles remain active and strong, people often find it easier to maintain their daily routines and stay physically engaged with the world around them. Because of this, scientists are increasingly studying how the body maintains muscle tissue over time. They're exploring the roles of physical activity, nutrition, and cellular energy systems, all working together in ways that support muscle performance. But muscles aren't the only part of the body that rely heavily on energy. In fact, one of the most demanding organs when it comes to energy use is something we rarely think about moment to moment: the heart. The heart beats roughly 100,000 times every single day. It works continuously, circulating blood through the body to deliver oxygen and nutrients to tissues that need them. To sustain this constant activity, heart muscle cells require a steady supply of energy. Researchers studying cardiovascular health are now looking more closely at how cellular energy systems interact with the heart's ability to maintain rhythm and circulation. While heart health has long been a central focus in public health discussions, these newer perspectives highlight how fundamental energy processes may influence how efficiently the heart functions. For viewers following health news or wellness discussions online, this growing interest in energy metabolism may sound familiar. It's part of a broader effort to understand how the body's internal systems support long-term vitality. And interestingly, this conversation doesn't stop with muscles or the heart. Another area gaining attention in aging research involves something many people associate with a completely different nutrient: bone health. For years, bone health discussions often centered around calcium and vitamin intake. While those nutrients are certainly part of the picture, scientists are now emphasizing something equally important: the relationship between bones and muscles. Bones and muscles work together as a coordinated system. When muscles contract and move, they apply gentle mechanical stress to bones. This stress sends signals that help bones maintain their strength through a natural process called remodeling. Researchers studying long-term wellness often point out that this connection between muscle activity and bone strength is one reason movement plays such an important role in maintaining physical resilience over time. As people age, both muscle tissue and bone density can gradually change. Understanding how these systems interact helps researchers explore ways the body maintains structural support and balance throughout life. At the same time, many conversations about health today also include another topic that people frequently search for online: metabolism. Metabolism is often discussed in the context of weight management, but scientifically, it refers to the many chemical processes that allow the body to convert food into usable energy. These processes power everything from breathing and circulation to movement and temperature regulation. One interesting aspect researchers continue to examine is the relationship between metabolism and body composition. Muscle tissue, for example, requires energy even when the body is at rest. Because of this, the amount of lean muscle someone has can influence how their body uses energy throughout the day. This is one reason muscle health, metabolism, and physical activity often appear together in wellness discussions. They represent interconnected parts of the body's overall energy balance. For many people, especially those noticing changes in their weight or energy levels over time, these connections help explain why the body may respond differently to lifestyle habits as the years go by. And then there's perhaps the most complex organ in the entire body, the brain. Despite making up only a small percentage of total body weight, the brain consumes a surprisingly large portion of the body's energy supply. It's responsible for an enormous range of functions: memory, focus, emotional regulation, decision-making, and countless background processes that keep us aware of the world around us. In recent years, scientists studying cognitive health have begun exploring how the brain's energy systems interact with mental performance and long-term brain function. While many factors influence how the brain works over time, energy metabolism is becoming one of the areas researchers continue to investigate. People everywhere are increasingly curious about maintaining mental clarity as they age. Questions about memory, concentration, and cognitive resilience appear frequently in public health discussions, and ongoing research continues to explore how different lifestyle factors may relate to brain health. What's becoming clear across all of these areas, muscles, the heart, bones, metabolism, and the brain, is that the body functions as a deeply interconnected system. Energy produced at the cellular level supports nearly every biological process we rely on each day. For viewers trying to make sense of changing energy levels, shifting metabolism, or evolving physical strength, this research offers an important perspective. Many of these experiences aren't isolated issues. They're part of a larger story about how the body adapts and evolves across different stages of life. Understanding these connections doesn't mean there's a single answer for everyone. Health is influenced by a wide range of factors, including lifestyle, environment, genetics, and daily habits. But learning how the body works can help people feel more informed and more aware of the systems that support their well-being. And that awareness often leads to better conversations between individuals, families, and healthcare professionals about how to support long-term health and resilience. If you found this discussion interesting, consider sharing your thoughts below. Many viewers notice changes in energy, strength, or focus as life moves forward, and hearing different experiences can help others realize they're not alone in noticing these shifts. If you'd like to see more conversations like this, exploring the science behind everyday health, you can also support the channel by liking the video or sharing it with someone who might find it helpful. Because the more we learn about how the body works beneath the surface, the more prepared we are to understand the changes we all experience over time. And in the next discussion, we'll explore another fascinating area researchers are studying right now: the surprising ways daily habits may influence how our bodies generate and use energy throughout life.